presented
insane.
itself.
I'm ready when you are. Just give me the sign.
We are live across the universe, or maybe just the internet.
Yeah, definitely.
Welcome everybody to episode 252 of the You Can't Comp This NBA Trading Card Podcast. We're your hosts, Adam, Amy, and Russell Gibson. And boy, talk about a festive season. There is lots of festivity in the news. It's just a lot happening. It's very busy, is what I meant.
I don't know if it's festive, is it?
I don't know, but it's busy. There's lots of it. It's chaos. It's like It's kind of like, you know, the hustle and bustle this time of year? It feels like trading card news is in the same vein.
So if PSA is up to their shenanigans, we just call it festive. Oh, if PSA is up to their festive activities.
It is
again.
festive.
Is that what we say now? Is it?
It's like Santa's Workshop, isn't it? No, or is that
festive?
Is Santa's Workshop tops, or is that?
I think. Actually, when I was in high school, don't ask me the reason why for this, but if something was festive, it was like rotten and
Festy.
Yeah,
festy. Yeah,
we would call it festive. So actually, this is like fantastic to now describe PSA.
Festivus.
Festive.
Festivious.
Yeah.
It's like mischievous, but anyway. Oh God, I'm not mincing words.
Anyway, all right. So this week we're going to talk about collectors' holdings, buying BGS, which we have to talk about. I'm not really that fussed about it though. We're going to talk about Cooper Flag. There's been some pretty amazing Cooper stuff happening at the moment. We've got a true or false segment just for you, Ad, just to see if you're paying attention, to see what's been going on.
This is going to go badly.
Gem rate check-in, but the thing that I actually most want to talk to you about this week is a story about a Wilt Chamberlain rookie card that was downgraded from 10 to 9 by PSA. So we'd previously spoken about that, and I sort of remember saying that was like a one to shine level card, and I thought that was like one of the best ever. So yeah, I'm really, really interested to talk about this because it also then, it's a really cool card, but it's also this whole issue around PSA changing their grades after the fact, which we spoke about last week with that whole Pokemon nonsense thing.
The upcharge, downcharge stuff. Like, what the hell's going on? Anyway, we'll get into that.
And the guy who broke the story, I reached out to him, and he's been having some really, great back and forth. So that's TJ.isonline. So thank you so much, mate. I'm going to thank you again later in the show, but just to sort of give 100%. You a heads up. We're going to heap shit on LeBron James because he deserves it.
I agree.
And then we've got some other, cool stuff to talk about too. So, but let's get straight into it. And we're going to start off this week with an ad from Adam, actually.
So, I'm going to do a read. This is
under the pump.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because normally I'm very off the cuff. So me having a read is something different for the show.
Yeah, to this week's challenge. Ad.
But we've had this feature for a little while. We've just been very bad at spruiking it, I guess. So,
we've been festive.
Being very festive. Yeah, it's because of the festive this season. But yes, if everyone thinks our content is worthwhile, which is questionable week to week, and you're enjoying what you're listening to, you can support the show by heading to your favorite podcast platform, opening any of the episodes, and clicking the link that says support the show. That's where you can make a one-off or an ongoing contribution.
Yep.
Funds are a bit tight and you'd like to support other ways, you can help us out by following or liking, subscribing on all of the platforms. Now, there's a few here, so strap in.
Yeah, with us. Yeah.
We've got YouTube, obviously, so go and hit that like, but the subscribe button for YouTube. Get the notifications if you want to know when we go live. Don't have to click the bell if you don't. But we put a
you do. You have to.
You have to.
Yeah, that's
just
right.
But if they subscribe and don't,
part of the Festivus. Come on, Ad.
All right, do the whole bit, whole kit and caboodle. You can you can change the options later.
What's the over-under of how many times we say festive this episode? I'm going to go for at least 12.
Whatever it is, it's the overs. I feel like this might just...
I think we're already up to about 5.
This is this week's, part of the festivities. Facebook, you guys should all understand how Facebook works. It's just a big thumbs up. It's a like. Instagram, just follow us. I think it's just follow on Instagram. Do you have to do anything else?
Yep.
Share things with your friends. If you think something we share we post as funny on Instagram. Go ahead
100%.
and share that.
100%.
Same goes for Twitter, also now known as X, and TikTok. So the easiest part of this is all you need to do is search for "You Can't Comp This." Don't forget to turn on auto downloads on all of your podcast platforms, because even if you put it in the bank to listen to later, we do appreciate the downloads.
That's it. And thanks to ChatGPT for helping me out with the formatting and correct grammar on that festive piece of...
Excellent. And thank you, Russell, for providing some wording, and I'm sorry for going off script.
That's all good. Alrighty, so let's get on with the show. Last week, Anthony Milne had a question for us, which we thought we'd save for this week. Is Giddy and Reeves a good comparison for All-Star this year? And which one would you choose? I'll let you kick this one off, mate.
I'll let you have Josh Giddey, because I'm taking my boy in purple and gold, Austin Reeves. Mm-hmm. I've voiced my happiness to his ascension to being one of the best players there. I actually don't think the Lakers can give him up after this year, and they have to pay the man. I think Austin Reeves is putting up career numbers, as well as, like, the guy was considered in the top 10 for MVP before he got injured. Mm-hmm. I think Austin Reeves is having a killer season. He's playing Robin to Luka Doncic as Batman, while I guess the brooding's done by LeBron in the corner. But I don't know. I think Austin Reeves has had an amazing season, and he deserves that credit. I would have said he's on track for kind of all NBA level stardom, but given he's been out for a few games now, maybe that's not a thing. He might end up out of contention. But All-Star, if I had to vote for two Lakers, they would be Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves.
I think I've still got a bit of a hangover from the Thunder trading Giddey away and then winning a chip. Because I'm sure you guys already know this already. Like, I love players that win, and I love defensive first players. Shout out to Herb Jones getting 8 steals this week. And so, like, for me, Giddey, until he wins, is almost a losing player. And that might sound a little bit harsh, but that's sort of where my head is with that.
Accurate.
So if I have to choose between the two, actually, I really think what Reeves did this season has been pretty phenomenal. And I think with LeBron out at the start of the year, and then really the Lakers exceeded all expectations. And there is almost a narrative to be said that he was playing as well, if not better than Luka, which is a pretty crazy thing to say. So I'm still going to stand by my thing. If they need to trade Reeves and get, another third, huge sort of superstar, like into a package for Giannis or something ridiculous like that. Like that's what I'd really like to see.
I think this season might be the write-off season. They just see what they need for next year. Let LeBron go away, and then we can spend all that money. They've got $50 million in their cap that belongs to LeBron James. Some of that will go to Austin Reeves, and the rest will go to another piece. I think the Lakers will be fine, but
I really wish we had some sort of intro music for this next piece, because it is kind of a big deal. But this is an article I found on ESPN. PSA's parent company, which is Collectors, buys card grading rival Beckett. The monetary details of the deal haven't been made available. I think at this point, no one actually cares how much they were sold for. I got the feeling that's a completely distressed asset, and PSA picked them up for pennies of the dollar. And I think the topics for us to talk about surrounding this, for me, is what does this mean for the long term of the hobby? How does this build PSA/BGS's capacity? Because even though they've publicly said they're going to be still separate companies, I find that really hard to believe. Like, why would they not use that grading space that BGS isn't currently utilizing? Why wouldn't they use all the grading knowledge that BGS has on board and all that expertise?
Yeah.
Wouldn't they cross-reference and help each other out? Like, that to me, like that sounds like it doesn't make anything. What about consumer confidence? I'm going to let you talk about your regulation of the hobby, and then we're going to talk about some negatives, and we'll just go on to a few other little bits and pieces. So starting at the very top is buying the distressed asset. I think I've said, what else do we need to talk about?
That's a smart business decision. Like,
I actually think BGS is lucky they got bought out. Like, what was the next step for them? Honestly, it's been a very, very slow death with this company.
I feel like they were in a position where they could have had a tactical rebrand, and I think they opted against it, trying to double down on what they had. And I
think they tried, man. I think like they actually were trying to do some social media posts and make themselves look cool and all that type of stuff. And I think that actually backfired terribly.
I think it backfired terribly because it should have just gone. They needed to rebuild rather than try and take over again. They didn't realize where they sat in the hobby.
Yeah,
I think it was a failed. They zagged when they should have zigged. I don't think they had any realistic view of how much of a monopoly PSA had and how much their brand image was held up by history, not so much present.
Yeah, anyway. Definitely. What does this mean for the long term of the hobby? And I think we can probably tie this in with regulation of the hobby. Where are you at with that? Because I feel like you've got the most to say about this.
I have major concerns, and it's probably a subject that maybe we'll wait until a little bit more's come out and we touch on it. But I think
more does need to come out. But I think we can also speculate. Like, what's your biggest concern? So when you heard about
the monopoly concern, the monopoly concern is the biggest one. It's just like, okay, PSA is just going to start collecting all of the grading companies till they are the gods of grading. And I'm sorry, but we need a fair and balanced...
Well, to take your phrase, though, what else do they need to buy to become the god of grading? Like, that's it now, isn't
it? They've now taken... they've tipped over 80% share, haven't they? So...
Easily.
There's... And the thing that I don't want to go into the senator's paper and investigation.
We'll get to that in a second.
Because that's I think that's almost a separate topic because that's whole hobby regulation in my view. But I think it opens that door, and I think it's all well and good while things look good, and we've seen stuff start to look bad. So I don't know. I think if there's only one major player, then the opportunities for exploitation become more and more evident. And I just don't think a monopoly is good for the hobby.
Yeah, so just like hold that thought for 2 seconds, because this is probably what I've been thinking about. So whether this is true or not, like we'll have to see how this plays out. But we've had that incident recently, and let's just say all of what we spoke about last week isn't true. But let's say 50% of it true, is that PSA can buy cards off people at BGS 9 and regrade them to a 10. So let's just say some of that is true. And now
you mean PSA 9 and turn a PSA 9 into a 10?
Yeah. Right? But what if you could buy a BGS 9 and turn it into a PSA 10?
Correct.
What if you could buy an SGC 9 and turn it into a 10? Like, at this point in time, because there's no oversight now, like pretty much at all. Because my sort of feeling was the only thing that was really holding PSA to account was probably BGS. And now that's gone, because there's no real company that's got the providence that BGS had. Or
no one, you cross over a BGS 9.5 because you know there's a high probability of a 10.
Yeah, but like,
because they're a quality grader.
Yeah, but if another grading company called them out, they'd be like, look, I don't care about your opinion. But if BGS called them out publicly, you probably have to go, look, there's probably something to be said about this. But like that's not going to happen now. Like, let's be honest about this. Like, there's no way that they're going to call out their parent company, about something like that. So I think, like if you're asking me, about that, because also too, you think about pop reports, how muddy they are already, like people cracking cards and sending them back in. Like if they're not returning the grading label, as far as the ledgers show, that card's still sitting in the registry.
I do think that this type of acquisition, and I'm not accusing anybody of anything, saying this type of acquisition turns what's already muddied water by collectors, like the community are the ones that crack it and regrade it, right? So we've got these pop reports that are already murky because we don't know how many times the same card's been graded, etc., etc. And now we've got a further layer of muck in this pond we actually don't know what internal controls there are to regulate this stuff.
I suppose maybe I'm making accusations, but I'm more just thinking about it as a business model. Like we spoke about this.
I'm not saying they're actually doing it. I'm saying they've got the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, 100%. So where
Yeah.
can PSA scale, right? So they've scaled by buying BGS. So I think this is like, if we talk about ultra scale, which is what was like, we literally spoke about this last week.
Yeah.
How can they scale further? Like, this is it. That's what they've just done.
Yeah, but
And
if
as
they've
part
got
of their
if they've
scale,
got a monopoly, they need to have a framework.
yeah, but if part of their scale add those also to sell graded cards, like now they've got a huge avenue to do that. Like, so I don't know. Like for me, that's yeah. So building capacity, like I kind of hope that they actually do work together, but
They can't.
also,
They shouldn't be allowed to scale until they have a regulatory framework with which to give assurances to the people that are buying from them or grading with them that these things aren't intertwined and are not exposed to potential corruption.
yeah, so I think now's the perfect time to bring up this article. Congressman calls for FTC to investigate Collectors Holdings acquisitions of FCC and Beckett. I'm not going to read through this article. Basically, what I can do is I can summarize. His kid had a shithouse time subbing his cards to PSA. He found out like what an absolute, you know, they're holding you over a barrel basically. And then they went and bought this BGS company. And he's now got political ties and enough power to do it. Mm-hmm. And this has been picked up by every news like this is everywhere. So
everybody's on it.
You know, I think that's probably the end we can do about that. Do we want to go for a break and we'll come back and we'll do the last few dot points? What do you say?
Yeah, let's take a break.
Thank you to US Sports Cards Australia for your ongoing love and support of our podcast. We cannot thank you enough. As always, go to ussportscardsaustralia.com.au. There you'll find sealed product breaks, card protection, and of course, Ross's beloved water pistols.
Yes. Big thank you to Ross, who thanks to Australia Post delaying a shipment, I got a gift from Ross. Some water pistols, which I haven't used yet because even though we had a couple of hot days, it's just the time hadn't presented itself.
Failed opportunity, man.
But don't you worry, I've assured Ross that I will be doing some testing from my balcony through the summer periods, and I will get back to you on how good these water pistols are.
Go to Instagram and search for comca.tradingcards. If you look through Ross's Instagram, you'll see he's got an updated preview of his new website. It looks fantastic. Also, when you do your sub to ComCA, write on the form, anywhere on the form, you can't comp this. And just to clarify and make this really simple, you'll get your entire sub done for 9 cents if you use that promo code. So there's no point in me saying it's free, but it's actually cost money. I'll just say it costs 9 cents, and that's as easy as it can. We've had recent sales or recent funds being transferred back to people's accounts, 600, 390, 240, 165. So he's getting volume of sales.
Nice.
It's all, we're very proud of you, Ross. We know how much work you've put into this, all the late nights, mate. It's fantastic. So again, thank you to US Sports Cards Australia for your ongoing love and support. Alrighty, Adam, we're back. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. All
right. Now, we were talking about the congressman. We've put that to bed. We now want to move on to the next dot point, which is what are the negatives that you think could come out of this?
Well, it's just open to exploitation, and I think it's corruption and exploitation. And I don't want to sound like I'm accusing, but if the potential's there, then there's no framework in place.
Yep.
And I think as far as my regulate the hobby stance goes, I'm not saying that people are doing it. Obviously, we know there is a level of exploitation when there's big money involved, but the temptation's got to be there. And if there's no regulatory framework to oversee what happens, then that risk just exponentially increases the bigger the monopoly gets.
Yeah, for sure. Do you see any positives of this acquisition?
From the eyes of PSA, they have less competition. I don't know. I haven't got positives and negatives. I've just got a bunch of concerns that the red flags keep showing themselves at the moment.
On that competition point, I actually think this is a positive because I think BGS was going to go under. So I don't think BGS would have sold for any other reason than that, right? So I think this was just like
the ship would have sunk.
This ship is sinking. You know, we need to get ourselves bailed out. So they've been bailed out, you know, for better or worse, right?
Yeah.
And interestingly, you know, we're talking about competition and also like, you know, getting their money back on their investment. CGC, which they've SGC that they previously purchased,
Mm-hmm.
that's not doing as well as prior to the acquisition. So that's a really interesting one. So, if people are sort of saying at the
They just
moment,
run it into the ground.
BGS isn't doing that great now. So actually, if we're looking at another similar case study, can we say they're actually, going to be doing better? I think that's going to be a tough one. But
is there
actually,
a way that PSA resurrects it?
Actually, the funny thing for me is the thing I think that would have helped BGS all along is they got rid of the 9.5 and just made it either 9 or 10.
Interesting.
But
I think having that as a point of difference was always good.
Yeah, but now that Collectors owns it, in my mind now they've got no motivation to do that. And so I think the thing that really people want from BGS is the black label. So I think they have to keep that.
So and right, tinfoil hats out. Let's do it. We've been talking about what PSA can do. We've talked about the potential of, I've got my 9, I've sold my 9, they're going to regrade it as a 10 and chuck it up. What happens? Because these reports, these grades that are done by PSA or by the graders won't be shared externally because it's proprietary information. It's confidential.
Surely.
But if it's internal, ready for the conspiracy.
I'm ready.
If I grade a card if PSA sees a card and they go, this is a black label, and they put a note on that card, I'm going to reach out to someone and say, hey, you should probably cross this over to BGS. Like, this is identifying PSA 10s to regrade them into black labels.
Yeah, why not? 100%.
What happens...
Yeah, that's absolutely possible.
But what happens when the grading standards change so everything becomes a black label?
I hope that's not the case because I think...
I just think it goes both ways, right? How do you resurrect the BGS brand now that you own it? You throw some more black labels into the market. People are like, oh, maybe I'll go to Collectors and grade with BGS. Takes pressure off PSA's very full queues.
Yep. Yep.
You can get the premium report from PSA where they might suggest that you cross it over.
One of our listeners, Tiny Lee, was suggesting that they'll start upcharging for a black label.
Of course.
Also, so if we can't answer this, that's totally fine. This is what Tiny asked me. Can you talk about every shop middlemanning as well as grading? So essentially shops being the middleman to sub for PSA and BGS. I think he's kind of suggesting that that's a bit of a scam too.
Really?
I don't feel that's a scam. I think that's just a way that shops make money.
It's a supply chain. No, that's a
way
logical.
That people can connect and do it through a legitimate way, and you can sub your cards in a safe way. Like for example, with the hobby, and how they paired up with Fast Break trading cards, they had insurance on all their cards, and it was a.
Can I just go to bat? Can I go to bat for every shop that I've dealt with regards to grading? And I'll die on this hill. Shops don't make bugger all off the grading. It's a service for the community, and it helps collectors get those cards in transit. There's
I agree with you.
The margins involved.
Low yield.
You think about like a margin of a product, right?
Yeah.
Like the effort that goes into the grading process, insurance, etc., etc. Yes, they do bulk submissions, so they get a minor discount. That minor discount is nowhere near the work that goes into them making those submissions. They are doing that for their communities, and they are doing that to facilitate something that's very difficult in Australia.
I think that's like the business model of, say, 7-Eleven, where they sell you the $1 Slurpee, but then you go in there and you buy the bag of chips too, and a lolly. Like I would assume that's the reason why.
100%. 100%. Because if you crack a card from their store, they'll offer to send it off for grading, and they'll help you do it.
I reached out to Lane Pierce, speaking of 130 Point and the Hobby Australia, and his very short reply was this: if it helps improve their customer service, even slightly, it's a good thing. As in, if it helps BGS. BGS have slid so far that I feel they would disappear completely. This avoids that from happening, and I feel like that's probably the genesis of my my positive idea what we're talking about earlier before. CGC put out a statement which I actually think is worth reading word for word. A message from Steve Eschebaum, CEO of Certified Collectibles Group. Yesterday's announcement only reinforces what I've been saying for a while. CGC is the clear choice for collectors. We offer fast turnaround times, consistent grading, the best holders, and great customer service, all done with integrity. So I think they're kind of taking a bit of a dig at the moment. And if you guys remember the episode we did live from the Hobby Hangout, we did the episode with the guys from Unboxed.
Yeah.
And so that was Ray Raiden, and they are huge believers in that whole sort of CGC thing. I did reach out to them. So guys, please reply back to my text. I would love to, catch up with you guys and get your opinion on that. Tag also put out a statement. This is a little bit longer. I'll probably just read through bits and pieces. Industry changes worth paying attention to, but consolidation alone doesn't redefine grading. PSA helped build this industry, and its scale has contributed to the opportunity we all have today. That deserves recognition. However, acquiring Beckett doesn't change the fundamentals of manual grading. Combining two opinion-based systems doesn't create more transparency, consistency, or accurate population data. This is a scale move about volume, pricing power, ancillary services, and profit. This is not a transformation in grading quality. We believe high quality grading demands transparency, measurable standards, and reliable population reporting. And I got to tell you, I'm going to interrupt like this read. I am almost 100% in agreement with everything they've said so far. Manual grading, regardless of size or self-proclaimed greatness, cannot eliminate subjectivity or fully track resubmissions. As the market becomes more informed, cards supported by clear, measurable grading will command greater confidence and higher long-term value. TAG was formed on a different premise. Trust must be earned through data, clarity, and accountability, not size. Our slabs are backed by quantifiable scoring, digital reports, and systems built to reduce subjectivity. They're also almost impossible to crack open too. As transparent standard scale and remote grading arrives in 2026, the conversation will shift from size to certainty. The next era of grading won't be louder, it will be clearer. Yeah.
Are they suggesting it's going to be clearer from them, or
it
needs to be?
They do mostly AI grading, and they also essentially take a picture of the card and use that as a footprint because they believe that each card is individually identifiable, even if it's not serial numbered.
Yeah. Interesting.
All right. What else have we got here? I think that's it. I think we've covered everything. So what's your final thought on this, Ad?
Final thoughts are... I'm concerned. I like the same thing is, it's not about good, bad, otherwise. I'm just concerned that the focus, these acquisitions and all of the moves, there doesn't seem to be any moves or statements from these companies about how they're going to have an integrity-based framework to stop the grading, the things happening at the grading stage. And obviously it's a follow-on from last week. If they're entering the selling arena, then it's concerning. And the whole monopoly thing is the biggest part of that, because the more control one entity has, the less visibility and accountability is perceived by the public.
Do you know, weirdly, I'm more worried about PSA selling cards than them owning BGS.
I think it's just they all follow on to one another.
But BGS is such a small piece of the pie.
They're just an absorption. No, but the thing is, right, what's the one thing that used to stand out with BGS? It was the quality of the grading.
Well,
but the search for black labels. There's no other company where you're like, I'm so confident in flipping the 9.5s because they'll come back as a 10 from PSA. To me, that suggests that BGS's grading practices and standards are higher than PSA's. And I think we're going to lose that element of quality, and the quality being the black label, obviously. But I feel like that will be absorbed, especially if BGS drift off into non-existence after this acquisition. If they go just as bad as SGC, they'll just go belly up. Like, they'll just disappear. Collectors will be like, you know what? We're just going to shut this arm down because it doesn't work. Oh, there goes the 9.5. Oh no, there goes the black label. Oh well, let's depend on the PSA 10.
I actually find it hard to believe that you couldn't make Beckett profitable in some capacity. And I also find it a bit weird that they would spend all that. Well, we don't know how much money they spent, but like spend that money just to sink the company.
Distressed asset. You're buying it to no, but you're actually taking out the but this is better quality argument from all of PSA because it is. They don't grade as much, but there are people that have got a lot of BGS cards, and the black label gets way more attention than a PSA 10. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm not debating that.
They're taking that out of the market, and that's worth the price they paid, I reckon.
So you think it's a strategy to remove black labels?
Well, they're either going to double down and try and rebuild Beckett to make it appear that that the monopoly's not there, or they're going to sink that ship and remove it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Time will tell.
Yep, time will tell. All right, let's do one more quickie. And then we will go for a cup of tea. All right. This is Stefan Castle, Nebula Choice, 1 of 1, versus Jalen Williams, Gold Prism, PSA 10. Basically sold for the same price, $52,000, within a month of each other.
Yes.
I am probably going to go for the Jalen Williams just because I still believe that Jalen Williams is overall undervalued. And I'm a little bit worried about the logjam in San Antonio. And I probably think Dylan Harper is... I think Castle's a good prospect, but I think Harper is probably already better. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with that one.
I am so glad you picked the Williams. I am taking Stefan Castle 7 days out of 7. It's a 1 of 1. It's a Nebula. Yeah. It's the sexy 1 of 1 because it's not just the black. Although, being the Spurs, the black might have even been cooler. But no, Stefan Castle is... This guy's elite. This guy is absolutely elite. So I think in the fact that the Spurs did make it to the final of the NBA Cup, they didn't quite get there at the end. But they took down the Thunder. I thought that was very impressive. And that man, Stefan Castle, was part of the reason. I think he is there for the long run. I hope I haven't put the Moz on him. I think they can coexist. I think they will find a way. They are the Spurs and they are a system. They will find a way.
Yep. Alrighty, tea time. The Bangman. This ad is brought to you by The Bangman, ripping NBA cases weekly with fast weekly shipping straight to your door. The group is absolutely on fire right now. They recently pulled the Polo Banchero Immaculate Logoman patch auto 1 of 1. They sold the very next day for $60,000 AUD. If you want in on the action, head to Facebook groups and search The Bangman. Also, Amir is currently running a 1 of 1 bounty, which will increase $25 per break, and then max out at $1,000. I think it's currently at $200, something like that.
Nice.
Join the hype, join the hits, join the Bangman. Thank you so much to Team Bangman and Amir for your support. Alrighty, Ad, we are back and we are going to play a little bit of True or False.
I thought you were going to play some crazy intro music then.
Well, do you know what? I really want an intro music for every time we talk about Jeff Wilson. So it's like Jeff Wilson, or someone like yodeling his name. So if anyone is a listener to the show and also has the unique talent of being able to yodel, could you please DM me and we'll organize a recording and you can send that to me and we can play that during the show. That would really make me happy. True or false? Collectors Holdings now own PSA, BGS, and SGC.
True or false what?
Collectors Holding now own PSA, BGS, and SGC.
False.
Isn't that true?
Collectors don't. Don't PSA own collectors?
Nah, Collectors is like the company of it all.
True.
Yeah. Well done. As a rookie, Cooper Flagg is having a more efficient scoring season than LeBron James's rookie year.
I'm going to say true, because otherwise
That
it
is
wouldn't be a
true.
question.
It is true, but LeBron is having a better passing season.
Oh, interesting.
Chet Holmgren silver PSA 10 is down 21% the last 3 months.
True.
Very good.
It's underrated.
Darren Fox
Underrated.
silver PSA 10 is up 21% the last 3 months.
In the last 3 months,
Yep,
is up.
correct.
False.
No, that's true.
It is true.
It is true. Tim Duncan flawless autograph to 25 just sold for 1,200 USD.
Number to 25.
Mm-hmm.
True.
That is true.
Nice.
That is true. Wilt Chamberlain 1961 Fleer has been downgraded from a 10 to a 9.
If I hadn't read any of the news, I would say false.
Yeah.
How could that happen? It is true. Shockingly true.
That will lead us into our next segment, but very last true or false before we do move on. Josh Hart stuck his thumb into Jalen Brunson's bunghole during the Knicks Cup celebration.
True?
That would be true.
Goodness.
Josh Hart, what are you doing, mate?
Sorry, I've got Anthony Milne is watching as always in the live feed. He's like, just play the Big Show WWE intro for the Jeff Wilson. He also said, based on the previous segment, now there's going to be a lot of Michael Jordan rookies grading as a BGS Black Label, magically coming across from PSA.
Alrighty. My beloved Twitter has delivered again for us. This is from TJ is online, which is slightly derivative of his Instagram handle, but it's the same guy.
Fair.
This was posted on the 18th of December, and this was pretty big. So this blew up in a pretty big way. It was picked up by Boston Card Hunter. It was picked up by Jeff Wilson, the whole thing. So this, really did become a story. I think this is relevant also too, because I think if we're all being honest, that Pokemon changing of grade story from just a week ago was still fresh in everyone's mind. So
yeah.
This is interesting. I was just checking the 1961 Fleer Wilt Chamberlain pop report on Card Ladder and saw that the PSA 10 pop decreased by 1 to 3. So meaning there was 4 and now there's 3.
Yeah.
And I saw the same on GemRate. Did some digging. The PSA 10 that last sold in August for $976,000 is now in a 9 holder. And so we were talking about this the other week in terms of when they downgrade them, they don't give them a new serial number. And so I didn't really understand that, but I actually think for, we talk about you were talking about transparency or lack thereof. This is actually an example of transparency. So I think since that time, a lot of the information that you initially were reading online was all like just, Twitter trolls, and there wasn't a lot of actual, genuine information out there. And so what I did piece together was that the card had been graded 25 years ago. And so that isn't fact, but let's just say it was graded a long time ago. And we know that. It was one of the original cards that was sent to PSA. And this is also me summarizing a DM conversation with TJ is online. Massive shout out to him. He's been very helpful with all of this. From what I could understand, it needed to be re-encapsulated and was sent to PSA. And he clarified, no, it wasn't needed. It was reholded for an August 2025 auction at Heritage. So my understanding was when it's reholded, PSA will review the grade automatically. And we're talking about this last week. What triggers a card to be automatically reviewed and automatically be regraded? His response was, no, they do not. Sometimes they inspect cards again if the slab is cracked. That wasn't the situation this time. The current owner asked for the card to be reviewed, which is a really interesting one. So the owner of the card paid a lot of money for it. So obviously they've got their reasons for having the card to be reviewed. Was the card downgraded to a PSA 9? Yes, it was. The card was returned to the owner as a PSA 9, and PSA paid the owner compensation. So he confirmed that yes and yes, because there was some speculation going around that PSA would keep the card. So if they downgrade it, they compensate the owner and they keep the PSA 9. That was what some people were saying around. And because the obvious narrative here is, oh yeah, they pay out the owner at the PSA 9 price and then they keep it and they regrade it as a 10 and then sell it again, right? Like that's the obvious narrative. But for clarification, that is absolutely not as what's being reported as happening here. And so enter stage left, Jeff Wilson. Let me just quickly find this. Jeff Wilson goes onto Twitter. PSA's grade guarantee just paid out $800,000 to a collector. This is one of the reasons why upcharges exist. Ducks for cover. And then he goes on to say, people are going back and forth with him. Can you point to any evidence they paid out the $800,000? No, I assume that based on market value difference, but now I'm reading their terms, so maybe not. So their terms say their maximum payout is $250,000, and that they can make exceptions to that on a case by case basis. So I'm really torn on this one, because I think how cards were graded 20 years ago isn't how cards are being graded today, even though you would think it's an old card, so they should have some consistency on that. Like that shouldn't change things that much in the last 20 years, but I will give them a pass on that. I'm really, really, I really want to know this. Like I want to know this so bad. I would probably pay money to find out the answer to this. How much they did compensate the person for that, because I think, old mate was jumped the gun, then said it's $800,000 when in fact it's absolutely not. I think we leverage so much on the value of the PSA compensation. So if they're not upholding that, like that really waters that value down for me. Sorry, I interrupted then.
No. I'm trying to go back to the episode that it happened. Didn't this? Isn't there only one in existence?
So there was 4.
This is bullshit.
Why do you say that?
Because didn't someone get it out of a garage sale thing and graded it was the only 10 in existence? I'm sure. We're not either that, or I'm living in 1984. History's been rewritten and my brain's been fried with old knowledge. But
I have to admit, I actually thought the same thing. Yeah.
I thought there was one.
Yeah.
I thought there was one. This is the only one in existence. It came out of like a garage sale. Someone inherited a box out of a storage locker. Yeah. Oh my God, I'll get it graded. And it came back a 10. I said this was going to be a $3 million, $5 million card because it's a one of one.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden there's 4 of them and now there's 3. What?
I can't answer that right now, but
I think we need to go.
It's going to take a bit of time to dig through the PSA data on that.
Well, if there's a listener, if there's a listener out there that remembers the episode where we talked about how this came back as it was graded a 10.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I could be very wrong, but I remember there was such a skin pop report because there's 33 9s and no 10s.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't allow you to check PSA 10, right, in card ladder. But on the pop report, it says there are 3 of them. There's only the one recorded sale.
While you're looking through that, I'll read the PSA official tweet on this. And this is almost so robotic, it's like it's been written in Morse code or something. These guys need to get some serious help with their social media platform. Recently, a 1961 Fleer-Wheat Chamberlain PSA 10 cert number was submitted for a grade guarantee review by the owner of the card. After review, it was determined that the card should be graded PSA 9 per the PSA grading standards. The owner was compensated for the difference in value under the terms of the PSA grade guarantee. That's it. Nothing else.
I want to see some
no back and forth in the comments. Just drop this down and run. Like, Jeff Wilson talks about ducking for, running and ducking for cover before. Like that to me is running and ducking for cover 100%. Like,
Yeah. Anthony
Just
Mills in the
staggering.
chat, he's agreeing. It was only a few episodes ago we talked that it was Pop 1. I'm pretty... I don't know exactly which day it was, but I'm guessing it's one of the Wonder Shine list cards. Because I said it was Pop 1.
Yeah.
But
I have
Anthony
a
Mills
similar
said,
recollection to you. Yeah,
it was
I'm
Pop
not
1
disagreeing
3
with you. I'm
episodes
just
ago.
saying,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, look, it's a really interesting one, and I actually hope we do follow back up on this one. You know, when a bit more information comes out, and we can talk about it.
Yeah.
What TJ did say to me in DM though is that more information is going to come out on this, so we just have to kind of like hold our powder a little bit. Let's not jump to too many conclusions. But I think ultimately for me, the thing I want to know is, because if the card, let's just round up numbers here. So he paid $950 for it. It's now being estimated the value is about $250,000. Let's just say he gets compensated $250,000 to $300,000. He's still out of pocket about $250K, like at least, right? I'm just using very round numbers here. I don't think this is the right word, but I don't think it's fair to do that to a customer either.
No, I don't think it's fair at all. There's more to this. There's got to be more to this.
Yeah. So whether that he owns, you know, some of the 10s and he does want to have a bit of population control on it, you know, we've seen that before with that Pokemon guy deliberately damaging, you know, original Pokemon packets as they come out. You remember that guy?
I remember that.
Yeah. Like, what's the, you know, that's the same, exactly the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You ready for a break?
I'm very
Last
ready
thoughts?
for final
Last
thoughts.
thoughts?
We need to do some digging because there's something smells fishy.
Yeah.
I cannot bring the PSA 10 information up, and I cannot see the history of that PSA 10 when it became pop count of 3.
Mm-hmm. Do you know who might be able to help us with that? Is Ryan.
Definitely.
Alrighty. Neon Trading Cards, thank you so much for your ongoing support. Go to neontradingcards.com. There you'll find a huge array of breaks: soccer, NBA, MLB, F1, AFL, NRL, WWE, and Marvel. Find Neon Trading Cards on Whatnot. They are one of the 3 Australian repackers on Whatnot. They are also a Topps and Fanatics direct breaking partner. Again, very exclusive company here. Go check them out on neontradingcards.com for all of your breaking needs. Now, also, this week, specific to Neon, it is a big week again for them.
Huge.
Topps Chrome Basketball is live on the website. Do not miss out on these breaks. Also, Neon will be breaking every day of the holidays with all of the top new releases. Huge Whatnot stream on Christmas Day. So, guys, if you're with family, you need a bit of a break. If you are by yourself and you need a bit of online company. If you are traveling and your family's in a different location, you just want to have a bit of buzz on in the background, put Whatnot Neon Trading Cards on. You will love their Christmas stream a lot. Go to neontradingcards.com for your hobby-related needs. Adam, have you caught your breath? I think that was the first time you used profanity on the podcast ever.
When I said BS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're fired up, fella.
Fired up. It's a regulate the hobby episode. That's why.
All right, Cooper Flagg. We haven't spoken enough about this kid, I don't think, Ad. He's young.
He was underwhelming. Dallas haven't been doing much. Good. They're not in the playoff picture.
Is he underwhelming? I'm not too sure about this.
Dallas were underwhelming.
This is from @ExtraStats on Twitter. I've got 2 words for you: Cooper Flagg and clutch time. Cooper Flagg, 12 made field goals in clutch time, which leads the league at the moment.
Nice.
And is shooting 70% on those attempts, which is by far, except for Wemby. Wemby's at 75%, but he's 6 of 8, so it's definitely not got the volume that he's got. 4th in total clutch points, behind SGA, Tyrese Maxey, and Cade Cunningham. And basically, some of these stats have just never been done by a rookie before. Maybe a rookie back in the day did it, like Wilt Chamberlain or Jerry West, but they weren't counting stats in that stage.
Okay.
Let's talk about a Cooper Flagg card.
Yeah.
Recently sold for $180,000, 2025 Topps Silver Pack. Cooper Flagg, rookie auto super fractor 1 of 1. That is an absolute mouthful. That was from our friends at Card Ladder. They posted that up. That sold on December the 18th. So Merry Christmas to the owner and the seller of that card too. I think both of these people will be ecstatic by this.
That's
All right, my
interesting.
question to you, Ad. If this is the new Prism card that we are going to be looking at for the next 10 years or so, how do you feel about the aesthetics of this card?
I don't like the rookie shield. That's all. You know what I mean? Like it'll become the norm. It'll become the standard. I don't mind that we're I don't mind that we're moving into a new era of card design. It's a little busy for me, but
yeah, that's my commentary on it too. It's like with the Topps Chrome logo, which is large. Like it's so large they don't even have a Dallas Mavericks logo on it. Like I would prefer a Mavs logo probably over that.
I was trying to figure out for something so busy, what is it actually missing? And it's got the team's logo's not there.
And also it's got that 45 stamp on it too, which I'm like, maybe that could be on the back of the card?
No, that could have been the Chrome stamp, like the Topps Chrome 45, like a special one. Combine those and then have the team logo. But yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that could be on the Topps Chrome.
Yeah.
They don't need two Topps Chrome logos, do they? Look, I don't think it's terrible. Can I be honest with you? Actually,
it's a nice card. I just think it's a little bit
but at
busy.
the same time, it's a bit busy. I agree with you. Yep. Alrighty.
It's interesting that they didn't get the auto graded.
Yeah.
The card was just graded authentic, nothing to do with the auto.
Gem rate check-in. We haven't done this for ages, so this is almost an apology to Ryan because we just haven't looked at his stuff for ages. Daily grading update. This is from December the 18th. Items graded yesterday, 85,000 by PSA, CGC at 21,000, Beckett at 5.3, SGC at 2.5, and Tag now on the list at 1.9 thousand.
Well, now, does Beckett stay on the list, do you reckon? Oh, of course they will. They will, because they got acquired. They're not changing.
Still independent,
yeah. Okay.
I think probably the other, the big movement too is just around what's being graded. 58,000 is TCG. The next biggest is baseball at 9,000 and basketball at 6,000. So TCG is holding up grading numbers as we speak.
Is that holding it up, or is that actually blowing it out of the water? Like, maybe, yeah, okay. That's probably I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Actually, I'll rephrase that. TCG can be broken up into about 6 card games. So yeah, maybe it needs to be. Maybe TCG's grown to the extent where you need to break that down into what games.
Yep.
What trading cards there are. Do you know what I mean? Like, what percentage of that is Magic the Gathering? What percentage of that is Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, One Piece,
for sure.
Disney Lorcana? There are games galore. And I'm sure different games get graded on different quantities.
No, 100%. Alrighty. So this is a follow-up from last week. We did a conversation about Kobe versus Jordan. We actually had a few replies on this.
Oh, nice.
Also, too, shout out to Card Ladder for resharing our content. We really appreciate that, guys.
Awesome.
And thank you for your
ongoing support.
Giving us the premium accounts, too. So we need to shout them out for that.
For sure.
Scotty James, Jordan all day over the imitation Jordan. That new card smell, Jordan every day of the week. What I didn't do on this, and I've realized this as soon as I've started to read people's responses, I didn't say factoring in price because for me, it's the Kaboom, the Kobe.
Aesthetics, yeah.
I like the card design, but also I like the price versus the Jordan. Whereas if price is no object, which essentially is, I think, what's happening here, and rightly so too. There's nothing wrong with people doing that.
Of course.
Mal has said, why not both? Ross Taunton has the Jordan hit the ceiling, but then reflective. Is there more Kobe's in hiding? So I think what he's trying to say there is there the population going to keep going up a little bit. Roscoe's going with the Jordan. Do you want to do Levi's?
Hang on a second. It was Levi.
That's all right.
Yep. You can go.
Kobe Kaboom for me, my GOAT. So it would be a PC card that would stay with me forever. Yeah. I think if you're a Kobe guy, it's hard to let that bias go, isn't it? It's such a beautiful card. Jared Begg, Jordan, PMG are amazing looking cards. And Jared is a Jordan collector from way back, so that makes sense. Yeah. Shout out to Paul Stahl. He's gone with the MJ, and Corey Gilbert wants both. I think the other comment for us to add on this too is in our DM group chat with Joe Fu. He just noted how much those Kobe's have gone up. And I think that is a really It's a really good observation because if you look at the graph on that, we did talk about this last week, but
I'm sad.
It's just a straight line up to the moon, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will note for those that haven't been paying attention that in about 4 weeks we are going to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the 81-point game.
Yeah, right. I still remember that game, to be honest. It's just I'm getting.
I watch it every now and then. It's a good game.
Yeah.
I mean, not if you're a Raptors fan, but.
All right, this next one is called LeBron is a Protected Species. I need to run this past you, man. Dylan Brooks presents to the game the other day wearing a Delonte West Cavs jersey, which I think if you are measuring trash talk, it doesn't get any worse than that, really, does it? Do we need to run this through the listeners, allegedly what happened in that space? I think we can.
About LeBron...
So Delonte West was a teammate of LeBron James in their Cavs NBA Finals run.
Yes,
they were a really good team.
Yeah.
And Delonte West was in the starting five.
Sure.
It later was, I think we have to say allegedly reported, that Delonte West was having relations with LeBron's mum. And so...
It's such a deep cut.
Yeah, that was...
It's such a deep cut. If there's any player that has got real estate inside that head of LeBron's right now, it's Dylan Brooks.
LeBron lost his temper at Dylan Brooks in that game and then was pushing the referee.
To get through to fight him. Yeah.
My question to you is, why wasn't LeBron suspended for that?
Maybe the refs heard something that they forgave LeBron for doing that.
As in, like, they're siding with LeBron in this particular, like, back and forth.
You don't talk about a man's mother on the basketball court, maybe?
Yeah. Okay.
There's got to be something. You saw how worked up. It wasn't about the foul stuff. It wasn't about the close attention. He was really at him. And
Yeah. He definitely stepped over.
And yes, I definitely think LeBron probably should have been teed up for that behavior. But anyway.
I actually think he should have been suspended. Yeah. I think if that was Draymond Green, that would have been a 2-month suspension.
Agreed.
If that was any other player, I think that would have been at least 2 games, maybe 3.
The question then, Mika, but like agreed with the outcome, but is it LeBron protected or the refs just like, nah, Dylan Brooks has got it coming?
Look, Brooks is an annoying dude. Even I find that guy like gets on my nerves, and
I remember when he was at Memphis doing it to LeBron. Anyway, yeah, he's done it to LeBron for years, so. Look, it's nice to have somebody in the league that is prepared to go up against him, and
he is an absolute villain, that guy.
100%.
Yeah. We'd normally do a Jordan to close, but I've just got this one in the run sheet because it's a good looking card. 1998 Skybox Premium Michael Jordan, Intimidation Nation.
Nice.
PSA 9. Population on this is 37. Sold for $12,240. I like this card because it reminds me a bit of sort of the Court Kings-esque illustrations that you get out of it. I think it's a very classic Jordan pose. I can see this in my head, like sort of my memories of Jordan like that. Like it's kind of a cool card.
37 in the PSA 9, $12,000. That's impressive.
Yeah, I'm going to go. This is like a record. This is just an ongoing statement for me. I just really am struggling with the value on these cards at.
Yeah. I noticed that. I just keep, every time I see a Jordan insert, I just throw it.
I just shudder a bit. Like for me, that's like you can get a lot of cardboard for $12,000, man.
But people that collect Jordans don't often sell them off, right? So they become harder and harder and harder and harder and harder to acquire. The more people that get into basketball collecting, the less Jordans there are to get, right? So gradually that demand increases, and if it's unanimous that Jordan's the GOAT, obviously everyone wants to get cards of the GOAT, so the demand's going to keep going up.
To your point, in the last 3 years, if I'm counting this properly, it's a smallish picture, just 11 sales on that card.
Yeah, because cards like this don't come up often. Yeah, yeah.
All right, I think we got time for one more, and we're going to do 2 Steph Currys. And one of them is going to be a card versus card.
Oh, I love it.
You do like a card versus card.
I love a card versus card. Curry to close.
All right, Steph Curry, gold Kaboom number to 10.
Is it gold?
There's another one. So there's 2 there. BGS 9.5 sold for $236,680. Population on this is 3. I actually have got no problems with this at all. And the reason I say that very particularly is that I'm just looking at these two cards that we were just talking about. We're just talking about the Jordan that sold for 650. The Jordan is population 11. And then we've got the Kobe that sold for $100,000, which is a unknown population. Let's call it 60, but is a pop 3 on the grading report. And the reason why I say that this is good value also too is that yes, Steph Curry stuff has gone up a lot. I still think he's got a lot of room to move in terms of his hobby potential, in terms of that all-time sort of upper echelon. And I think these kabooms and these low-numbered ones, we had a difference of opinion on this like a few episodes back where I was sort of comparing these to PMGs, and you were sort of saying, well, it's probably the one of ones, which is a better comp. But I
think they scale to a degree. I don't know. I'm stuck on this one.
Settles, man. That's fine. I want to hear your opinion.
I'm stuck on this on this gold one. I think with Steph Curry, and I'm being really picky.
No, be picky.
I think this image isn't worth the price tag. It's not Steph doing what Steph does.
As in the illustration is not.
Yeah. Because we did that, the Kobe kaboom in the Jordan Kobe comparison, like that's a good looking Kobe shot, right?
Yeah.
That's
a classic Kobe throwdown.
Yeah. Like, but Steph Curry, going up for a layup? What's this? Like, is he dunking? Because he doesn't dunk. Like, what is this image saying? He's not shooting a 3. He's not doing his night. He's not cooking. He's not.
Yeah.
And I did look at the other links, so that's obviously what's inspired this. But I'm like, of the 3 Currys I've seen in the last few minutes, this is the least. This is the one I'm least impressed by.
Okay.
So this is, I think it's overpriced.
Okay.
I do agree about kabooms and the gold ones being valuable. Don't get me wrong, but I do think the
all right, so
the image work
fine.
on this kaboom. If you've got, and the PMGs, there weren't 6 different Jordan PMGs. This is the other part about the PMG comp. Because there's multiple kabooms, we need to be that little bit. There is the differentiation there somewhere.
Yeah.
But so for me, I'm not sold on the artwork for this one.
So if you say this is overvalued, what do you think this is worth in 10 years' time, in 20 years' time? Like, to sort of look into the future a little bit.
I would have bet it as 100 to 150.
Okay.
In 10 years' time.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, that's
I'm so biased on these though, man. I actually need to talk to people with different opinions
Thrash
on
it
it.
out.
So
For sure.
I feel like my head I'm so like tunneled on these now. So
we'll go
I'm
to
probably not the right person to talk to.
We can go to the card versus card because I can follow on from
Let's
that.
do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. So we got 2 cards here for the card versus card. We got the Steph Curry Night Kaboom, which is the 2022 PSA 10.
Yep.
That sold for $29,000.
Yep.
And then we've got the 2024 Steph Curry Mango, which is obviously these have just gone absolutely crazy. Again, PSA 10. That sold for $35,000.
All right. So I'm going to say...
What do you got on this one?
I'm going to say the Night is going to 10x over the next 10 years.
Yeah. Right.
And the Chef Curry has a cap of about 100K. That's my thought. So I'm going for the Night Steph Curry. Iconic Night.
All right. My opinion on this is I actually think mangas at the moment are like you're buying into the hype.
100%.
So for me, like any mangas, if I ever do hit one, I'm just going to sell it straight away. That's my gut feeling about those. I'm like, They
were one and done though. They were the last thing released by Prism, so they can't do it again. Scarcity.
I just think the hype on these is a little bit like crooked.
Agreed.
So on the Kaboom one, I'm not sure we see a 10x on the, let's call this one the base.
Yeah.
But like the gold, if there's a green on that one, I'm pretty sure. Did they have 2022?
I don't know.
I'm actually not sure if they're on it, but let's just say we do. I reckon they're the ones that go for like nuts money into the
Yeah.
future, man. Well, I think that one will go up, but I think that will be like sort of an incremental each year. You know, you might make your 5%,
Sure. Yeah,
your
yeah.
6, your 7%, something like that. But I don't reckon.
Interesting.
Yeah. Final thoughts before we go home, Ad?
I think we need to give some serious consideration to what frameworks are and are not in place in the hobby right now. And I think there's some noise being made, and I don't think the noise is going to stop. We started a few months ago when Wondershine entered the stage, and the talking about it being art and collectibles. And I think the more big guns that are the more big investors there are in this hobby, the more oversight it's going to require. And it's not just at the top level; it needs a framework. If people are going to invest lots of money into it.
I think we should send Pat Ryan a Regulate the Hobby t-shirt.
100%. 100%. If he comes on the show, of course.
I think even if he doesn't come on the show, we just send him
Fine. Yeah, that's it. Get his postal address, we'll do it. And one of Ross's water pistols.
I'm sure getting a congressman's postal address will be easy.
Actually, we probably shouldn't send a US senator a gun. All right, never mind. But look.
Actually, that is a terrible idea.
Not doing that. Ross, please don't send a US senator a gun. Done.
That could be misinterpreted.
It might. Can send him a Labubu card, though. That was cool.
Yeah. Thank you, Adam. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Thanks for letting me flesh all that through my head today, because I feel like there was a lot of that stuff I just wanted to sort of get through today. So,
thanks to the listeners. Thanks, Russell, for another great episode. And because
we
won't speak to them till after the big day, happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Of course.
Enjoy the 25th of September and all that comes with it. Be safe. Be festive. Not as festive as PSA. Have we got to the overs yet?
Yeah.
Be a festive bunch of collectors in the hobby and enjoy all the festivities that this time of year brings. And we'll see you.